Guys, welcome to Impact. So in this video, we are going to look at some things which should be avoided, which should be done with respect to the UPSC interview. So the interview is going to start shortly, and the interview is one chance for us to prove ourselves, to see where our cadre will lie, what service we will get. So that single day or that single half an hour will decide how the next almost 30 years of your life is going to be. So it is, yes, a very crucial time. So there are some things that you should avoid. There are some things that you can do in an interview. So we'll be looking at some of them in this video. Let's start. So first thing, how do you greet people when you go inside the interview hall? Yes, you're going to have a panel and you're going to be provided a seat. Now, as you enter the room, you ask, may I come in? And you go and you have to greet them. Now, either you can do one of the two things. Greet them individually and you have to greet the lady member first. Or you can greet the lady if there is only, let us imagine there is only one lady member first, lady panelist. We can greet her first. Let us say, good morning, ma'am. And there are few other members. And you can greet them as good morning, sirs. And while doing that, it is essential to ensure you look at them and you make some eye contact, or you at least look at their face. And let us say you're wishing a couple of people, good morning, sirs. Then you make sure you're looking at all of them. The next thing, never sit unless they say so. Or you're standing, then you may ask. If they have not told, you may sit and you continue to stand, and then you may ask after some time that may I have the seat. Only upon their permission you may have you must sit. We have seen instances of candidates going and directly taking the seat. Next, the panel may throw some general questions like, how are you doing? Now, there are some candidates who say, I'm doing fine, sir, I'm doing great. How are you doing? Never do that. You do not talk to the panel member like your friend. So probably your age will be their experience in the field. So they are asking you a question to make you comfortable. You tell them you're fine, you're great, and you say, thank you, sir, or thank you, ma'am. Next, they will be facing a lot of questions in the interview. And I am definitely sure every candidate will not know the answer to all the questions that is being thrown around. But there are questions where you may take a guess, or you may make a guess. So in such type of questions, now before you do make a guess, you ask them, sir, I do not know the answer for this, but I'm willing to make a guess. Now, on their permission, you can make a guess. Some of the candidates they just tell, they do not know, but I guess this is the thing. So it's always better to say, this is a case, and ask them if you can make a guess. Next, in the conversation, they may appreciate you for anything. You always say thank you. You do never forget not to say thank you. You say thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am, before you move on to the next question. Next, this is one of the very basic things. You read that day's newspaper. So a lot of instances we have seen of candidates being asked questions from that year's paper, that day's paper on the day in which they are going for the interview. And that day you might be in a hurry, you might be, so many things might be running in your head. And there are candidates who forget to do this, and they do pay the price for that. One example that we can tell is, one of the candidates, again, this was his interview day. 3 of the panel members have finished their questioning, and the next panel member was starting. So his first question was, what is the mechanical engineering cooperation between India and France? So he was a mechanical engineer. He thought about it long and hard, but he couldn't come up with the answer. But the answer was Rafale jets. On that very same day when he was appearing for the interview, the headlines was on Rafale jets. The Indian Air Force is procuring the few jets from France. So this was the answer to that question, and he didn't know. And the candidate later came out and told that I think this might have gone a bit negatively in an interview. So never do that. Always prepare, read your paper before you go for your interview. The next thing, there will be a lot, or even some depending on the panel, of opinion-based questions. What do you think about so and so? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Now, there might be, or there is usually a question wherein they ask you whether do you agree with this or do you not agree with this? What is your opinion on this? Now, there are candidates who do not take either side and who say, this is like this, sir, but this is also like this. This is one stand, but this is also good, this is also good. No, you take a stand. You say, this is where I stand. However, then you can qualify saying that, talk about the other side and say this is a positive, this is a negative. But however, you should take a stand. Decision making is an important part of your daily life as a bureaucrat, especially if you're in the Indian administrative service or the Indian police service. You're going to take decisions every hour in your service. Sometimes some decisions you will be woken up in the middle of the night and they'll ask you for decisions. So they do expect you to be decisive. So in the name of being diplomatic, never say this is also good, that is also good. No, you take a stand. So that's all for this video, guys. In the upcoming videos, we'll talk more about few more tips on the UPSC interview. Thank you.